Right, first things first. Exercise 1 on page 9 of the notes. In triangle PQR, they give you the fact that ST is parallel to QR, and they ask you to calculate the value of Y, which is really funny because there's no Y on the diagram, so just change that. It should say X. Calculate the value of X. There we go, much better. So this is just a very easy example of that proportional division theorem. It's really not a complicated example. You can immediately just go and you can say that if I want to, by the way, you don't have to make X into your subject position. You can, it's actually nice to make X into your subject position, meaning you can say RT over TP is then equal to QS over SP. And that's just going to be the line ST is parallel to the side QR in triangle PQR, or you could just go and say prop division theorem, proportional division theorem. I prefer that one where I just state this line is parallel to that side in this triangle. Now, by the way, you also don't really have to write this part down. You could have immediately just gone and said X over 10 is equal to 2 over 5. So if you've written that down with the reason, they have to give you full marks for it. You don't first have to go and write the sides. You can immediately just substitute into it. They're fine with that. It also saves time. You guys generally have a problem finishing paper 2, so it's probably a good idea to save that time. Right, so we're going to go and we're going to multiply both sides by 10. So if I multiply both sides by 10, then 2 over 5 times 10, 5 goes into 10 twice, and 2 times 2 is 4. So this is going to be equal to 4 centimeters. I think you guys agree, very easy, very straightforward, just easing you into using this theorem. So you guys please try the next example on your own. Try it on your own, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, check your answer. I've got 15 centimeters. What have you guys got? Okay, so obviously you're going to go and say y over 35. Okay, so because it's y over 35, we have to go 18 over that total one, which if you add 24 and 18 is going to be equal to 42. And then you just multiply both sides. Like I said, you don't have to go and first write down the sides. You can jump straight into that proportion. And then your reason, BD is parallel to AE in triangle ACE, or just the prop division theorem. It's up to you. Okay, let's go over to the next page. Again, just keep going. Do number 3, do number 4, and then mark. It starts very easy and simple just to get you kind of into it. Okay, can we take a look? So we start by saying m over 2 is equal to m plus 2 over 3. By the way, that's not the only way you could have done it. There's lots of different ways you could have done it. You could have gone 2 over m is equal to 3 over m plus 2. You could even have gone m plus 2 over 2 is equal to m plus 2 plus 3. You understand? There's lots of different ways. The easiest way, in my personal opinion, is to say m over 2 is m plus 2 over 3. Then, reason again, GH is parallel to EF in triangle DEF, and then I just cross multiply. But guys, when you cross multiply, especially here, that is a binomial. So if you cross multiply 2 by that binomial, you have to remember to distribute. So it's not just 2 times m, it's 2 times m and it's 2 times 2. That's why it ends up being 2m plus 4. And then simply m is equal to 4. Not so bad, hey? Are you all with me so far? Everybody understands it so far? Good, keep going. Where is x? Is it again one of those typing errors? They say AB is equal to x, so that's x. Remember, read the birthday card. I used to say it's a love letter, but now I say the diagram is the present, the wording is the birthday card. So please read the birthday card before you open the present. Otherwise, it's just plain rude. Right, so this one, the only trick is you have to go and do the proportional division theorem twice. You couldn't do it once because there are 2 different triangles. Did you spot that? Okay, so I start by saying FG over GC is 22 over 33, which obviously simplifies to 2 over 3. It's fine if you simplify it. You can also leave it 22 over 33. It's up to you. That is because of DG being parallel to EF in triangle CEF. Then in the other triangle, I can then make the statement x over 15 is equal to fg over gc, which I've just worked out is equal to 2 over 3. But that requires a different reason because it's a different triangle, and that's because BG is parallel to AF in triangle ACF. And then I can just go and I can multiply. So I can say if x over 15 is then equal to 2 over 3, I can multiply both sides by 15. And then x is going to be equal, 3 goes into 15, 5 times 2 is 10. So this is equal to 10 centimeters. So a little bit trickier. You just have to bounce from the one triangle to the other triangle. Yes?
Can I run this in one step? Because I just said FC was a common size for the two triangles.
Yeah, but you did need to mention both triangles. But if you did it like that, it's absolutely fine. As long as your reasons are okay. So if you did your calculation in one go, like if you went immediately and you said x over 15 is 2 over 3 or 22 over 3, so you did that immediately, you still need both reasons. So the calculation can be shorter, fine. But you can't shorten the reasons because you can't just jump. There's no one triangle that you can jump in. So calculations you can shorten, reasons you can't shorten. Yes?
Now, if you use top division theorem, do you still need to do it twice?
Yes. Because you're using the proportional division theorem twice. You are using it twice. Okay. So be careful that you don't go. It's a simple example, like for instance, is when they tell you something is an isosceles triangle, and then they tell you the top angle is equal to 40, and you have to work out these two angles. Then a lot of people, they calculate it by using one reason, which is angles in a triangle. You can't use one reason there, you have to use two reasons there. Number one, because it's an isosceles triangle, the angles opposite the equal sides are equal, and then it's sum of angles of a triangle. So you have to be careful that you don't think one reason is sufficient when in actual fact you need two reasons. Okay. Right, let's try another one. Like I said, just keep going. We'll do number 5, number 6, just keep going. Right, can we take a look at number 5? It didn't have enough space. I don't know why they gave so little space for number 5. So I started by saying 5k plus 3k is equal to 32. Because when I put the values on there, they told me right at the top in the birthday card that dg to ge is 5 to 3. So the moment you have that 5 to 3, it means this one, which you can add in if you really want to, but this one means that dg over ge is then equal to 5 over 3, and I just used k as my common multiple, so 5k over 3k. You don't have to write that, by the way. That is given. So because it's given, you can immediately just on the diagram, you can write the 5k and 3k. Okay, so I wrote that down. That means that 5k plus 3k is equal to 32. The reason there is not the proportional division theorem, the reason that it's given. They've given you the fact that those sides are divided into a ratio, and because they've given you the fact that those sides are divided into that particular ratio, you can just use it as given. So you understand what I'm saying? The ratio is given, you can just use it. However, if you want to use the ratio on the other side where it's not given, that's when you use the proportional division theorem. Okay, so that means my constant multiple there, k is equal to 4. So 5 times 4 is 20, and 3 times 4 is 12, which means dg is 20 millimeter, and then ge is equal to 12 millimeter. That was actually pretty easy and straightforward. Now I have to use the proportional division theorem on the other side. I initially used the letter m, but then I realized it's going to be confusing to use the letter m just because of the units of measurement. They measured it in millimeters, so you can imagine that m with millimeters, you're going to get confused. So that's why I started using m and then I changed it to p just to make sure that we don't confuse the units and the multiples. You understand? There's a difference there. Units, millimeters, the multiples, I used k as the first multiple and then p as the second multiple. So I said dh over hf is 5p over 3p, and that's the proportional division theorem. gh is parallel to ef in triangle DEF. And then again I just went and I said, but 5p plus 3p is 24. You can, if you want to, have written given over there, but you'll probably be forgiven. You'll be forgiven for not writing the given. Okay, sorry, I have a horrible sense of humor. Those who've never been in my class, I apologize profusely. You won't get used to it before the end of the year. Just roll your eyes. Michelle normally does. Okay, so that means p is equal to 3, and because p is equal to 3, I can then go back, and then I can say, but 5 times 3 gives me 15, which is dh, and 3 times 3, which gives me 9, which is hf. So not too bad. A little bit of extra work, not enough space, but really not too bad. Okay, keep going. And if you get stuck, let me know. If there's anything you don't understand, this is why you're here, so you can immediately ask. Okay, I'm just going to stop the video because I can always just put the memo on for these.